Hey everyone, happy Halloween. We're doing something a little different today, a little extra fun episode for the season. Our regular Path of Night episode came out this past Wednesday, and next episode, The Trial, will be out in 2 weeks. In the meantime, though, we wanted to take this opportunity to announce that we're opening up ways for listeners to help us keep producing our shows. We love what we do and want to do more side projects like this in the future, so if you'd like to help support what we're doing, we have a coffee now, ko-fi.com/Path of Night. Any contributions are welcome and really help us out recouping costs to keep the show running. Most of all, though, as always, thank you all for listening. You've given so much life and community to a project that is so close to all of our hearts, and your reactions are sincerely and deeply appreciated. We all pass around every new review we get for days every time. So for tonight, we're going to be doing something a little different. If you're a fan of our post-roll table banter, this should be fun. First of all, you're probably wondering why I'm talking so much. I'm Rob, I usually play Neil, but tonight I'm taking over the storyteller's chair to run a comedic horror one-shot for the group, Dude Run, by Robert Nolan and Creepy Doll Studios. Tonight the Path of Night crew is going to be playing paranormal investigators for a shitty ghost hunting show, the kind that airs at 3 a.m. on the Sci-Fi Channel. They'll be using their personal belief in the paranormal, their investigative techniques, and a bit of their ego to try and collect enough evidence to prove the validity of a haunting. I, on the other hand, will be playing the part of the skeptic. I'll be setting the scene and providing the very mundane scenarios, loose doors, drafts, the furnace kicking on, that they're going to use to justify why this is definitely ghosts. For clarity, this is not a game about ghosts. This is a game about a bunch of ghost hunters buying into their own hype, all in the name of proving the paranormal is real for a TV audience. At the end of the session, if the dice are kind and the characters gather enough evidence, then congrats. They prove this was definitely a haunting. And if they didn't, well, congrats anyways. They just debunked a false claim, outing those phonies who can't even tell a real haunting. When you presuppose results, you can't lose. Dude Run is also a game with a competitive edge, however. Our investigators are going to be trying to outdo each other for screen time, with the ghost hunter who collected the most evidence throughout the episode earning the title of lead investigator, giving them exactly what such a title would imply. Social clout on a reality TV ghost hunting show. Popular enough, and maybe you could even get your own spin-off. If it feels like I'm mocking ghost hunting TV shows, I absolutely am. But you also need to know that I have watched probably hundreds of hours of paranormal investigation shows in my life. I was obsessed when I was younger, and they still hold a place of exasperated love in my heart. So this game and tonight's session is kind of a love letter to ghost hunters, ghost adventures, MTV's Fear, sightings, and honestly my own family ghost stories about aunts that went to psychic mediums and second cousins that saw shadow people and had to leave their homes. So without further preamble, let's begin. Ghosts, poltergeists, demonic apparitions. Are they real? Or is there a more scientific explanation? Each week, the brave investigators with Connecticut Research and Evaluation of the Extraordinary and Paranormal delve into some of the most haunted places in the Nutmeg State. Tonight, on Ghost Pursuers. The intro to Ghost Pursuers starts to play. Creepy music interspersed with little screams, lots of night vision, Dutch angles, choppy editing, stock Adobe After Effects smoke. Time-lapse shot of bare tree branches silhouetted against the moon at night. A shot of an old Victorian doll sitting in a tiny rocking chair. A man with a flashlight turns quickly as if he just heard a loud noise behind him, and the shot freezes as the name Christian Edge is displayed underneath. Lex, would you describe Christian for us?
My name is Christian. I have been a vampire for approximately 400 years.
That's it, we're done. We're done.
My unique circumstances have granted me the gifts of psychic power, and as such I am sensitive to the paranormal. I recognize my own.
You want to tell us what Christian looks like?
Christian is very proud of his soul patch, dark hair, shadowed eyes. He dresses in all of the greatest fashions that 2004 has to offer, with skinny jeans, excessive belts, all around the waist.
I feel like
studded belts.
I feel like you've got to have bootcut jeans. Like bedazzled bootcut jeans, not skinny ones.
I do like my bedazzled bootcut jeans, particularly when I'm wearing my Chuck Taylors. But tonight things are serious.
I feel like it's really important to note that this game is taking place in 2021.
I am aware.
He's timeless.
All right.
I come from a time before your understanding, so be ready.
A shot of bats flying across the night sky, but with a bunch of frames missing to make it extra spooky. A shot of a door shutting in its own, also with frames missing. A woman holds a recording device up to the empty air, listening intently. The shot freezes as the name Shelley Hemsworth flashes across the bottom of the screen. Rebecca, would you describe Shelley for us?
Hi, my name's Shelley, and I was
We couldn't even make it to the first.
Rob, what the hell?
You can do this, Shelley. Hold on.
Sorry, go ahead, Shelley.
Focus your prana.
That's good advice. That's
Oh,
very
don't
good
be
advice.
bringing her
It's very
prana
good
into
advice.
this. Don't be gross.
Rob just ducked away from the mic as soon as I started talking.
It was. Oh my god. All right, I'm sorry. Go.
Hi, my name is Shelley, and I didn't really believe in the paranormal until I started dating Cliff, but then I started dating Cliff, and then he started showing me what the paranormal was, and I'm really here now. I'm not sure, I don't really believe in it, but I think I'm believing in it now.
You want to describe what Shelley looks like for us?
So Shelley has long, mousy, frizzy hair. She's got this, vintage sweater on that looks like she dug it out of a thrift store's bargain bin. She's got these little wire glasses on and, always has an oversized duffel bag over her shoulder that she cannot manage. She's always tripping with it, and, it's getting caught in, her curls, and it's as big as she is, and she's pretty short.
A zooming, shaky cam shot going up the stairs of a boring suburban home at night. A slow-motion shot of a chandelier swinging in a circle. A man stands in the middle of a child's bedroom and then startles and starts to run. The shot freezes as the name Cliff Andrew Tolman appears on screen. Tim, would you describe Cliff for us?
Yeah, Cliff is a surprisingly normalish guy comparatively to most of these people. He's got a polo shirt on that says Black Hat Electricians, and he's just wearing jeans and regular sneakers and a backwards hat, and he is very enthused to be here, but also seemingly somewhat tired. Cliff has personality-wise is, hard to describe him. Basically the normal guy in this round. He has a job. He does not aspire to dark powers. Does not hunt cryptids or any of the things that others have mentioned, and generally is just pursuing something based on stuff that he found in his grandfather's chest when he was a child.
A sped-up time-lapse shot of a candle burning down. An old photograph of a Victorian man that fades to black. A woman sitting at a table with a Ouija board, looking deadly serious. The shot freezes, and the name Cimanthe Pratt appears on screen.
Oh, hey there, I'm Cimanthe Pratt. That's spelled Cimanthe because my parents are kind of frog legs. They didn't. Oh, also, I come from a line of Squatch hunters, and the book smarts, they really ain't the. They ain't the foremost in our thought train. They ain't the locomotive of the thought train, if you know what I'm talking about. I came to the supernatural, honestly, but turns out my Squatch call is wanton, so I had to find a new field to go into.
My squash claws want it. I want that on a t-shirt. Oh, no.
Okay, fuck. Erika, would you just...
I think they want you to describe what you look like.
Would you describe Cimanthe with a C and, what she looks like?
Oh, it's C.I.M., hun.
Yeah, no, I got it.
It's alright. Triscuits, where did we go off to? Samanthe's got some short-chopped, curly red hair that she keeps in place with, a hanky. And then she wears kind of baggy clothes with a lot of pockets, because you gotta have a lot of pockets when you're out hunting squatches. But it turns out it's real handy for keeping notebooks and such in when you interview people, because I got a good personality. So good. Wasted in the squatch hunting.
Squatch hunting is very lonely.
A close-up of a staticky TV turning on by itself. A slowly rotating shot of old gravestones. A man holds up some sort of crystal, looking at something, then looks up excitedly at the camera. The name Linus Szandor Foley appears on screen. Garrett, would you describe Szandor for us?
So, I am Szandor, and I am come to this group through the Set Society. We are practitioners of ancient occult esoterica that branched off from the Collegia Luciferica, which branched off from the Ordo Templar Obfuscara, which was a branch of the Satanic Church. We have much more esoteric and perhaps sexy ideas as to how magic and the supernatural interact with our day-to-day lives. The investigations here will be greatly aided by my abilities. Szandor, that's spelled S-Z, is wearing a black turtleneck with a small silver pendant of weird, arcane, interlocking designs around his neck, has a crush velvet black blazer over top of his turtleneck, with a pair of kind of crinkly slacks that could probably use an ironing, and a very poorly put together black bowl cut hairdo. If he could grow a beard or a mustache, that would be great. Unfortunately, he just has maybe 2 or 3 hairs that form the very just shade of a mustache.
Gross.
The molestache. Nice.
Szandor.
Yeah, you didn't spell your whole name, hon. You just stopped with the first 2 letters.
They're his favorite.
Those are the
tracks.
those are the most important letters to the ritual that is my name.
A spooky face rushes towards the camera, accompanied by a MIDI of a laughing scream. The words "Ghost Pursuers" appear in a barely modified version of the Chiller font. It wriggles on screen and then fades. On tonight's episode of Ghost Pursuers, the C.R.E.E.P team is contacted to investigate a series of frightening encounters in the Windham home of Rich and Laura Wilson. The scene cuts to a small, very plain-looking room with, like, a projector screen, but not an actual projector, like one of those ones that you hook up to your smartphone that doesn't work super good. In a place, Cliff, would you describe C.R.E.E.P HQ?
C.R.E.E.P HQ is actually an attached garage to my business.
The Black Cats?
The Black Clad Electrician and Paranormal Investigators.
Yes.
We operate out of Central Connecticut. And if you mention the show, you get 10%. But yeah, so it's an attached garage to my business that I run, and we maintain all of our equipment, and we utilize one of my vans to generally show up to these places. And we are actually projecting it on the blank side of the van to demonstrate where we are. And we are gathered around a folding table and some fold-out chairs.
The wall that Cliff dreams maybe one day will have a projector screen on it currently has some cheap metal shelving that houses a bunch of stuff that you guys have either collected over past things, or some of your various equipment and accoutrement that you bring on stuff. I'd love everybody to describe one thing that they have contributed to this wall of junk.
So my favorite thing that I have put on that wall is it's a spirit box. So it uses white noise. It cycles through all of the different radio frequencies in case the ghosts want to talk to us if there's ghosts. But if they want to talk to us, they can talk to us on different frequencies.
This is going to kill me by the end of the night.
You're welcome.
Szandor has used a piece of chalk to actually draw a ancient occult symbol onto the back of the facing of the wall with perfect angles and chemical symbols aligned to make sure that this will be the correct tools and implements we need to capture these spirits or ghosts.
Chaos magic. I should have known Szandor would resort to this. As a precaution, I bring a stake, rosewood, placed it up on the wall. In the event my ex-wife deigns to intervene on our efforts, Cliff must be prepared. The wench is dangerous.
Thanks for that, Christian.
You're welcome.
But I've just got my horizon vertices up there. It measures paranormal kinetic energy.
So is that kind of like a laser matrix, or?
Yeah, Tim, please describe what a horizon vertices is to the crowd.
It's a series of almost looking like Tesla poles that you looks like you probably set them up in around corners of rooms or whatnot, and they have faintly glowing lights and sort of an electric static sound.
Powerful accoutrement.
Oh, I just brought a crock pot of poutine.
It's delicious, by the way.
Yeah, we can't.
Oh, and I
Szandor
left
says with a mouthful of poutine.
I lift the garlic out for you, hon. I know you don't like it.
Thank you. I'm deathly allergic.
Yes, that's what you say.
Yes.
Okay, Snowcone.
Christian was
Thank you
not
for the
wrong, by
poutine.
the way. My chaos magic is powerful in its ability and dangerous if misused. It is the reason that we have come together tonight for this case in Windham.
So, the case in Windham. Rich and Laura Wilson live in a quiet colonial-style house at
Was
the
a heck
far
of a
end of a
drive from where I came from.
dead-end road.
Sorry.
Just couldn't help yourself.
Oh my god.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Cinnamon is in Connecticut because of her cousin who works at the Pratt and Whitney.
No, it's actually because of my brother. He was laid over here when he was coming back from West Virginia because he was masquerading as Indrid Cole so he could hunt the Mothman down in West Virginia.
Oh no!
Wait, I thought you were from Arizona.
Oh, no, I'm from the...
Tell me
Wait.
you're not from Arizona.
I'm not from Arizona, hon.
One of Cinnamon's past lives was most certainly from Arizona. It would be no coincidence that Shelley would just think that you were from Arizona.
He knows my name is Cimanthe.
The narration voice cuts back in.
AKA, shut the fuck up.
No, I mean on the actual fucking episode of this TV show we're all watching. Rich and Laura Wilson live in a quiet colonial-style house at the far end of a dead-end road, Sunrise Drive, off of Back Road in the eastern part of Windham, near Lake Marie and the Allanack Wolf Woodlands Nature Preserve. A very pretty upper-middle class nestled against the forests of eastern Connecticut. At least, it would be, if it wasn't so haunted. Heavy ghostly activity in their home is tearing the family apart, and they're in desperate need of the team's help. While they don't report feeling much activity outside, visitors say they feel a heavy presence the closer they get to the front door.
I'm going to need to be invited in.
We got you, hon. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
They already invited us.
I need to specifically be invited in.
Better out than in, that's what I
Like
say.
anywhere, or do we have to be inside the house? I'm always confused. At
I
this
just
rule.
want to caution everyone that when you look at the names Rich and Laura Wilson, if you count up the numbers in Rich, that's 4 numbers. Laura is 5. Wilson is 6. And is 3 letters. That's a total of 18. Divided by 3 is 6.
666.
That's some good sleuth in there, son.
That's some really good math.
It is like a myth.
I wish that it were not the truth. But numbers do not lie.
We're in a math lab here.
Cliff knows best of all that numbers are invaluable to ghost hunting.
That's true. The readings and everything else that we get are very much based on the numbers.
As an
and everything.
electrical engineer, you know about them invisible numbers, right? Or imaginary numbers.
I mean, I know of imaginary numbers, but like I don't really have to interact with them very often.
Szandor makes a hand gesture in the air at the mention of invisible numbers, or
Like warding off the
yeah,
evil
he's
eye.
warding off the evil eye. Absolutely.
Cliff is fearless, interacting with powers he doesn't understand.
Cliff,
Thanks, Christian.
before the episode aired, the producers obviously gave you, and you disseminated to the team, a bunch of information, which is now being assembled by all of you to make it seem like you were just handed a bunch of information about the Wilson residence.
Cliff, you will want to bring your equipment into the dock below. The family has seen a shadowy man standing in the corner of their living room late at night, and both Laura and their childling Brandon have reported being overcome with spells, dizzy spells, at odd times throughout the day, accompanied by the smell of burning wood. Significant, Cliff, very significant. Seeing movement around the corner of their eyes, hearing a low rumbling, and feeling the vibrations of the supernatural. and the dining room located next to the living room. The chandelier has been known to turn off and on all on its own, and Rich even reported seeing it move by itself, even when no one is in the room, not even Rich. Do with that what you will.
Thanks, Christian. I'll definitely look into it.
Oh, that's incredible.
Do you mean do thou as wilt?
Careful with your wording. There is power there.
Oh, I know. It's no coincidence that these words were uttered.
Well, I think that would connect it to, right? Like, there was a kitchen and the family had all reported seeing human shapes out of the corner of their eyes. I don't know if that's like the Shadow Man or not, but maybe it is like the Shadow Man, or maybe it's other different human shapes. But the cabinet doors were found open after leaving a room. I think maybe after everyone had left the room, right? Because the cabinet doors had been open then, or closed. But then the sinks in both the kitchen and the attached bathroom are sometimes on too. And their daughter Tabitha, she said they found the bathroom sink nearly overflowing with hot water when she returned from school one afternoon. And in the family room, the television was sometimes on and off and on and off, and all by itself. And waking up at 3 a.m., it went really, 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 really loud.
Very wise, Shelley. Thank you for your contribution.
Uh-huh.
We'll definitely have to look into that.
Yes, we will. I will look into it, I promise.
We'll definitely have to look into that.
I'll keep you safe.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Christian.
so I think maybe those would be really good spots to look into, right? The television and the kitchen and the cabinets and the
You
sink.
are absolutely correct and natural.
What the fuck?
Dude, you gotta run this.
Focus,
I know.
Rob.
I'm
You gotta run
it.
this
I'm
game.
dying.
Anyways,
All right.
anyways, upstairs, up in Brandon's room, there seems to be the source of the main activity. He is reportedly seeing the figure of a man with no eyes staring at him from the corner of the room.
Is that the same guy?
We don't know. At first, he refused to sleep with the light off, but eventually the ghastly apparition appeared even when the lights were left on. He's experiencing terrible headaches nightly, claimed that the eyeless man tried to strangle him once in his bed. Family members claim to have seen this man looking down at them from Brandon's window from the backyard. Brandon refuses to sleep in the room now and is taken to sleeping in his sister's room. Tabitha claims to have woken Brandon from a nightmare where he's muttering the name Peter all over and over again. Does that mean anything to you?
Yes, significantly.
Szandor?
Peter. There are several convocations of the name Peter in the diaries of some of our elder members of the Set Society.
Oh, are you sure he's not just talking about something petering out?
Oh, perhaps.
Bed strangulation is a dangerous affair. We're going to have to take this very seriously.
Gotta have a good safe word.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, chicken necks. Okay. While there doesn't seem to be too much going on upstairs, the family's hearing a lot of pitter-patter from the hallways at night. The kids are both claiming to be, jostled away. Sorry, English and stuff is a first language.
I understand.
It's
Thank
really
you.
tough.
It's really tough. All right, I'm glad we can all support each other through these trying times. Okay, anyway, sweet biscuits. Back to the task at hand. Both children have been awakened by the scratching at the door, like some critters or some varmints gotten in. Probably not a squatch, you'd know that one. And they said it was freezing cold despite it being August. And, no activity in the bathroom, though. At least not from ghosts.
Good to know.
Upon reflection, the point that Cimanthe brought up about the name Peter being petering out, it does make sense, especially with the TV turning on and off and on and off. This house seems to be a convocation of poles of activity. The basement and the attic, for example. It seems that the basement has the feeling of being watched and generally a creepy atmosphere. Interesting that our organization is C.R.E.E.P. Coincidence?
Ain't no such thing, son.
I mean, not at this point, but I didn't originally mean the name to be creep. It
But seems
out.
that it is so overwhelmingly creepy. No one goes down there anymore. And the door to the basement, being off the kitchen, leaves those alone in the kitchen sometimes hearing whispers from the door cracks. And the attic, well, that's where they keep the Halloween decorations. And one time when Rich was going up there, he said he saw movement out of the corner of his eye. And now the family hardly even goes into the attic. He vowed that he has the overwhelming urge to never return to that dark crawl space. In fact, he left the chore half finished some of those Halloween supplies are still up there. It seems that both the attic and the basement are places where people do not live, whereas every other part of this house, we have movement. Poles on and off, petering out on and in.
Well, you're talking about the ebb and flow of ley lines, are you, son?
Excuse me, Szandor.
He like almost gasps as he like raises a hand up to his throat and just kind of nods.
Are you okay?
Szandor, do you mean to tell me that to this day, the attic is in disarray?
That is correct, Christian.
Them Halloween decorations is still up there?
It seems that if there were a spirit in this house, and I'm not saying there is, but if there were, and it had unfinished business, it has a desire to make sure that anyone living in this house also has unfinished business.
Shelley, I suggest you tread carefully here. Don't go places alone.
Oh, don't worry, I won't trip over everything this time. Well, we can put the wires differently so that we can actually set it up with all the equipment right, so that there won't actually be that much interference unless it's from ghosts. But if it's from ghosts, then we can't really help that. But if it's from ghosts or if it's from demons, then it'll be all right.
The Wilsons have approved us to use as much duct tape as we need.
Indeed.
So we should avoid any hazards from cords this time. But it does sound like it's an electrokinetic absorption event, and what we need to be prepared for is all sorts of technology going haywire.
I think we should be very careful about going to the basement and or the attic. I think we should first set up our base of operations in the house. In that spirit, I plan to lay a line of salt at the basement door and the attic entrance.
Please inform me if you intend to do that.
It's iodized salt, hun.
Even still, it's very dangerous to me.
Yeah, so the Wilsons are going to meet us there, and they're going to give us a walkthrough of everything like that, and then they're going to stay off site with her family or something like that.
To safety.
Yeah, over out in Putnam. So we shouldn't have too many problems. It's not too far from the Willy Bowl there. I think you guys all know it.
Sounds pornographic.
No, it's a bowling alley.
Oh, all right.
Deeply.
Sounds less pornographic.
It's by the super Walmart out there, 24-hour.
Oh, yeah, I know the
Yeah,
Walmart.
So Cliff. Or long-suffering Cliff.
Our narrator's got a bias, guys.
As he should.
The producers.
We are exhausted.
We see a shot of a Black Cat electronics, Black
Electricians.
Cat electrician and paranormal investigation van pulling up outside of a rather lovely home at the dead end, right along the woods. Big, nice, modern-ish colonial. And then we cut, and it's already nighttime, and you guys are setting up to look for ghosts in the Wilson residence. What is one thing that each of you does to prepare to investigate the hotspots of this residence?
So I don't remember who said it, but someone said it that the temperature was like really, really cold, even though it was August. So I'm gonna set up a couple of infrared thermometers all over the house, especially right at the entrance to the basement and to the attic. So I'm gonna get those hooked in to our computers.
The ghost is here.
Already?
No, it was just a dog.
All of you see a dog run by.
The ghost is a dog?
Does the Wilson family have any pets?
The Wilson family had a dog. It ran away.
The ghost is a dog.
And they had a cat. It's still here somewhere. The Wilsons say that they took their cat with them to their family in Putnam.
Super harmless.
I'm going to focus my energies. My presence can disturb the local animals.
What are you doing with your hand?
Focusing.
The sound of a coyote yipping in the distance is played. It is unclear whether that actually happened during the moment when Christian moved his hand, or if it was edited in post.
Anyways, I'm going to be setting up my horizon vertices up in Brandon's room. It seems like the main hotspot of the activity here. That should be able to pick up any kind of APX shift.
Cliff. Cliff, I have a question for you.
Yes, Christian.
May I come in?
Yeah, I had the Wilson specifically invite you in before they left.
My thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Szandor has prepared a series of arcane vestments that he wears around his shoulders, draped over his crush black velvet blazer. And in his hand, a tome filled with invocations, and across his shoulders a satchel filled with vials and various potions and unguents prepared to check the integrity of the supernatural matrices laid upon this place.
And out of character, Garrett, where did he get those engines?
A lot of them were crafted from the various fluids of the members of the Set Society.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, so...
It was using these different potions and unguents that the Set Society summoned the Crimson Woman, which is actually how we met Cimanthe. At least, I can't imagine that there could have been any other reason how she could have found her way to Connecticut from far parts of the country where she did come from.
Well,
It would
Great
also-
Lakes reason.
It would have to be a crazy coincidence.
It would have also explained her aura.
Editor's note text pops up on the bottom of the screen telling exactly when and why Cimanthe moved to Connecticut based on, a family job situation. Cimanthe, what do you do?
Oh, hot buttered popcorn. What do I do? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna interview the family before they leave. Just gonna get the who's and what's and the figure out the gazintas and the gazoutas that they may forget to tell us that might be on their blueprints.
So, no joke. One of my first job working at the time machine, it was just, he took me around the store and was like, you see all these little things on the floor over here? All these things are called gazintas. You know why they're called gazintas? Because they goes into the trash can.
Oh, God.
Gazintas and gazoutas. I got that from my upstate New York dad
that's amazing.
from infancy.
Sorry.
What a weird coincidence.
Coincidence?
Coincidence.
Coincidence.
I think it's a good thing, guys.
Anyway, yeah, I interview the family about all the who's and the whatses.
Great. And Shelley, what do you do to...
Oh, that's what I was doing. I was setting up the infrared thermometer at the entrances, right?
That's right.
To try to catch the cold spots.
Perfect.
The cold spots, so that we can actually get an idea if there's ghosts.
I got so swept off guard by Lex, Garrett, and Erika that I forgot you went first.
I will light a clove-flavored Morley and open my third eye.
They really prefer you didn't smoke in here, so try to keep it to a minimum.
Then don't snitch, Cliff.
He says in front of the cameraman.
But what if the smoke moves and then we can see if there's demons?
It is an important technique. Well said, Shelley.
Thank you.
Well, dipsy doodle, we better skedoodle.
The camera lingers a little too long on Christian looking at Shelley before cutting to the first investigation hotspot. Where do you guys go?
We should probably start at a little bit, not the most intensive thing, early in the night.
We should absolutely go with the kitchen. It seems like the kitchen is attracted to many of the other hotspots in this area, and it might be a map of the supernatural energies and their flow.
I concur. If we begin with the kitchen, the energies of this place will draw us to the most important place, the heart of the storm, as it were.
That seems like a solid place to set up all of our equipment and everything else like that. So, I think it's right on, guys. So why don't you start doing your extrasensory stuff, and I'm gonna get the rest of the equipment set up here with Shelley.
I got the wires.
Shelley,
Yes?
may I have your assistance for a moment?
Oh, of course. What do you need?
I need your help entering a meditative trance.
All right. I'm not very good at meditation. It requires calming me down. What do you need?
I will show you.
You don't have forever here. I do need her to help me with the chords.
Tim Davis, professional straight man.
So I don't know if you could just rush it forward there, Christian, or maybe wait till we get the stuff set up so that we can actually get the recordings done.
Your machines will be unhelpful.
I mean, they've been pretty helpful before, so
Have they?
yes.
Shelley, are you ready?
Yes.
Cut to the kitchen. So, some of you are researchers and analysts who will maybe be looking at things after the fact. Some of you are performing rituals and doing weird nonsense with crystals. Who is currently in the kitchen? Obviously, you are all investigators. You're probably all there, but this is where we're going to get to the mechanical portion of the game. So, all of your belief scores have started at 3. What technique is everyone using here to try and prove that ghosts are happening?
I'm using the technique.
Perfect. Fuck you.
I'm going to go with analysis.
Cliff, you'll be analyzing.
Yep.
Oh, Samantha's gonna be going off the research she did by interviewing the family and looking at the local property records, eh?
Samantha, you've been doing a lot of research.
Oh,
yes.
a lot of research. Sweet buttered popcorn, I've been doing a lot of research.
Szandor.
Szandor's going to play it slow. I'm actually going to analyze my my experience in the kitchen after the fact.
Perfect, yes. And Christian, what are you doing?
I extend my senses.
Important note. Have you guys, like most ghost hunter shows, gone dark? Turned off all the lights in the house?
Well, it's already after dark, right?
It is my preferred state.
I think it's part of the ritual or meditation, or is it a meditation or is it a ritual?
Indeed,
Well,
it is.
I think we're just setting up. So this is our first time in the kitchen. I think we should set up our equipment first, and then perhaps afterwards, once we've all set up and ready, then we'll turn out the lights and prepare for the long haul in the house.
Smash cut to lights off.
Like we set up all throughout the house, but then we go through like all the cuts of all of us turning off the lights and a brief clip of black-clad electrician side of the van again.
There
It's
are a
Cliff
bunch.
turning off the
Everything is
last
set up. So, you are investigating the kitchen first, correct?
Yes.
The lights are off. The hotspot ratings are all lowered by 1 because everything is spookier in the dark. That's when ghosts come out, definitely.
And squatches. Gotta be careful.
The hotspot rating in the kitchen is 3. Conducting your investigation at one of the more intense hotspots in the house. As you're all standing there, the sink is wet. And there's definitely some sort of like draft or something coming up from the basement. It's definitely cold, smells a little musty. That's probably what's happening. Until you investigate. So, one by one, I'm going to go around the table, and I want everybody to roll me their belief plus the technique that they're using. This time we'll go clockwise. Lex, we'll start with you. Christian, you are using your
My sensitivity, which is a 4.
and your belief is currently a 3. Are you spending any ego to really boost this one?
No, this is casual.
Szandor.
Szandor, just beginning to get a sense of this place, is going to analyze his experience in this kitchen after the fact.
Your belief is a 3. What's your analysis?
2.
Roll your dice. Samantha.
Yeah, what's up, Easy Mac?
Your belief is a 3.
My belief is a 3, and I'm using my research, which is a 4.
All right, roll it. Cliff. Your belief is a 3.
Yeah.
And you're using your analysis?
My analysis. I'm going to go through all of our recordings and technology and readings that we got from there and cross-reference with the general feelings of the guys.
Shelley.
So Shelley has set up thermometers throughout the room, as well as she is walking throughout the kitchen holding an infrared thermometer that she is pointing at wildly inappropriate spots throughout the room over and over and again. So that is belief of 3 plus her tech, which is 4.
Roll it. So, as you're all using your various techniques to determine that wasn't just a draft from the basement carrying up musty air, it's definitely ghosts. Did anyone roll 3 of a kind? Cliff.
Oh, poor Cliff.
Yes.
Cliff's walking a dark path.
Straight out Compton.
So, here's a fun part of Dude Run. The reason it's called Dude Run is sometimes you buy so much into your own hype that you freak the fuck out and run away. So Cliff will run screaming out of the room, or at least flee the scene. However, panic is contagious. So everyone who didn't run needs to roll me another d6.
I am deciding to run. I'm not spending any ego.
Hell yeah. Good point. You can roll ego you can spend your ego to not run. Now that everyone has rolled their additional d6, did anyone else get 3 of a kind?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Okay. Fun fact, if you had, you would have run and everyone else would roll another d6.
It's amazing.
Because panic is contagious. So, Cliff, tell me what it is in the moment that freaks you out that much, that you were using analysis of the stuff after the fact. You'll definitely be justified after the fact, probably, maybe, but what freaked you out that hard that you just had to run out of the room?
So I was plugged into the micro-emitter, and it seemed to have picked up some sort of...
micro emitter.
Some sort of creepy mumbling that seemed to increase in volume to the point that it became ear-piercing. So I threw off my earmuffs and proceeded to go to a different room.
Earmuffs or headphones?
Same things.
Perfect, Cliff. So Cliff runs.
Unflappable.
Amazing. So Cliff, by running, you've got no evidence from this investigation, from this hotspot investigation, but you do increase your belief by 1 because that was so scary. This is definitely a haunted house.
Definitely. I'm going to reference
Now,
my grandfather's guide.
Everyone else, your total dice that you rolled, set aside every number that came up even and count up how many those are. Even numbers count as successes.
Does that include the additional die we rolled?
Yes, every die you roll. Because Cliff freaking out does make this definitely more real for you guys.
I'm just here to help.
I have 4 successes.
4 successes.
3 successes.
Oh, I got 6 successes, hon.
Wow. So, everybody beat the hotspot rating. The hotspot rating in the kitchen with the lights off is currently a 3.
I would have not passed that either.
So, everybody wins. None of you spent ego, correct?
No.
So, each of you might either gain a point of evidence or gain a point of ego. Erika.
Oh, yeah.
Cimanthe, having the most successes right now, gains 2 additional points of evidence. So you can either gain 2 evidence and an ego, or 3 evidence.
I'm going to go 2 evidence and an ego, son.
Yeah. And you gain the first of the episode's confessionals. So I want to go around the room. Everybody who succeeded, tell me what you found. And then, Erika, we're going to go last to you, and you get to use what they said to either just tell them they're wrong, or use what they found in their investigations to definitely support your point, because you're the best one here.
Obviously.
Yeah, let's start with Szandor.
So, in the moment when I was watching Cliff flee the space, I was a little bit puzzled. It seemed that he had heard something on his recording, which would make sense about the things we heard. But I then realized that the convocation of this room is of a poor number. There are 3 entrances in, which also double as 3 exits out, 6. There are 3 windows in the far side of the wall over the sink, 2 skylights viewing in, and a 3rd skylight over across on the foyer. That's 6 windows. And then if you look at the points, the corners of this room, there's actually a bit of an indent. So there is, in fact, 6 corners. 6, 6, 6. Once again, this number just keeps on appearing. It can't be a coincidence. This
Coincidence?
This whole house has to have been built for some kind of nefarious convocation.
Shelley, what'd you find?
So I was walking around the room with the thermometer in my hand, right? The infrared one, and I kept shooting the thermometer into different corners just to see if I could catch a cold spot. And then I shot it into the corner that Christian was standing, and there was a cold spot. And I wasn't sure about that, so I had to reset the thermometer. But then I shot it at him again, and it was a cold spot, so I don't really get it. But then I reset it again, and when I shot it into the room, there was another cold spot, and it wasn't where Christian was this time. And it was by the sink.
Cut to a shot of the sink running. Unclear if that was edited into post. Christian, what happened?
I focused my chi. Drawing in
I just wanted to stop
the
right there.
ambient
I just wanted to
energies
stop there. I focused my chi. Done.
of this domain. And I felt them murmuring the sins that were enacted against them, one at a time. This place is not haunted, it is infested. So I used a breathing technique taught to me in the sacred steppes of Mongolia. And there I began to sense them one at a time and learned their stories.
The editor cuts out before we hear any of those stories. Cimanthe.
You would have to be an absolute idiot to not see the masterful breathing techniques that Christian knows. Those Mongolian breathing techniques are known to only a select few individuals.
So,
And
Mostly
they are
Mongolians.
so powerful.
To aid in the breathing techniques, I undid my shirt.
the editor cuts away again.
The happy
How do these
trail
shots keep
is
getting
a good means of bringing it to a
Coincidence?
focal point. So I used my happy trail to push the envelope.
Mongolians taught you about the happy trail.
I don't know who you've been visiting.
I did.
It is known that on the way up to Kathmandu, many of the trails are dangerous and deadly, but there is one.
Okay, all y'all
That is
shut up now.
very-
It's Samantha's turn.
We hard cut to a confessional. So, all of the research. In the kitchen, Cliff flees the room as Shelley points a device into random corners, looking really intently at the cold spot that seems to keep following Christian around. Christian says a bunch of weird fucking shit. As Szandor hovers nearby, looking at windows and counting on his fingers. We hard cut to outside by the van. This is not a night vision shot. This is a shot that is actually somewhat lit.
You're definitely highlighting the black cat electricians next door.
Definitely highlighting the cat. It's like they can't. Cliff has designed the van so you cannot shoot it with a camera without getting the phone number and the email address.
Yeah, we gotta buy that domain.
Somebody get on that shit right now.
Cimanthe. Everything that they were doing supported your perfect conclusion.
Well, let's see here now. So, poor Cliffy. He's normally our eye of the storm, but I guess this time it just got to him. He flipped off his earmuffs and he ran out the room like he was being chased by a rabid cat. So Szandor was talking about shapes and sixes, and I think the word hexagon was what he was looking for. But I mean, the number 6 do come up a lot in Squatch hunting. They tend to hunt in. They got the 6 toes, you know, and they leave the deer spread into 6 pieces, you know, or the legs of the deer is. I'm getting off track. Never mind. So Shelley corroborated the idea that Christian is in fact a vampire, or he's wearing like cooling packs, cause I don't know, maybe it's just a little too warm for his sensibilities here, outside the grave and all. But she also picked up on the fact that the sink was also running a little cold. So that could be an idea that the ghosts are coming in through the sink. Which is there are a number of myths that corroborate ghosts hovering near water. So if the sink is turning on and off by itself and it's running cold, that's definitely corroborating that. These myths are definitely mostly from Japanese origins. And due to my research, it was a Japanese family that owned the house before this family. And Christian supported my theory because he felt the ghosts coming through the air at night. Oh, Lord. But he was also... It was also a little weird because he kept looking at Shelley and breathing real heavy. And taking off his clothes and talking about his treasure trail, and it was... Look, I ain't against a little workplace hootenanny, but... But I think it's in poor taste to do it in front of, like, ex-spouses.
Oh, man.
Did you guys know that? Did you know that, that Shelley and Cliff used to get a little hubba-hubba?
I don't like any of
She
those
waggles
words.
her eyebrows at the camera.
Her eyebrows suggestively, and
There was a jarring commercial cut.
That's it, guys. We can go home.
Fucking take.
That was art.
Guys, I would love to know what fucking infomercial bullshit commercial is sponsoring this show.
The Wonder Boner.
You cannot just say
Seconded.
Cliff bought his own ad space.
That's right. I don't need to. The show has plenty of bad.
Have you ever had problems holding a bowl? Shows this old man who drops a bowl, horribly comedic.
Smash.
Oh, just kind of makes a face and like. Ugh.
His wife comes in and yells at him about it more.
What about trays? And the guy shows a guy dropping a tray.
Smash.
Well, fear no more. Now with rubber fingers.
Flub.
You see a woman happily putting on small little rubber fingertips on all of her hands. With rubber fingers, you'll never drop your priceless china again.
Smiling.
How about?
Is that a sound effect?
It's that little ding ding.
It can even be used as grips for your toes in the wintertime.
Whoa.
Whoa, Grandma, Grandpa, you're so cool.
Thanks, kid.
But thanks, rubber toes.
Rubber toes, not FDA approved. And we cut back to this episode of Ghost Pursuers,
Ghost Pursuers.
where the C.R.E.E.P team is investigating a haunting at the Wilson house. Where do you go next? Random shot of the outside of the house, zooming into the windows.
Hey, Cliff, are you okay? Can you come back in?
Yeah. I've just been here all the time. I'm just making sure all this other equipment's working out right.
Careful, Clace. This is a dangerous place for mortals to tread carelessly.
I'd be careful about using those earmuffs again. I think they may have been contaminated by whatever evil spirit has inhabited this place.
Indeed corrupted.
You have an extra pair, correct?
I have 4,
Thank goodness.
especially after the Wiley house.
Cliff replaces his headphones, gets a new pair out of the van. Or earmuffs. It's a little unclear in the camera.
Look, I think we should probably go somewhere upstairs at this point because we did hear the pitter patters. Well, the family heard the pitter patters from upstairs.
I mean, Brandon's room is a significant hotspot. I do have the horizon vertices set up there.
If, in fact, the whispers that you heard across your earmuffs came from the basement, I suggest that we do line it with salt before we go upstairs. Just in case something tries to leave the basement.
Wait, hold on. Salt is a major problem for me. I thought I said that.
Well, maybe you and Szandor should investigate the basement before the line of salt is there, while the rest of us take Brandon's room.
Sensible.
Agreed.
So, the team splits up. Szandor and Christian go to the basement,
So much chaos magic.
whereas Cimanthe with a C, Cliff, and Shelley all go upstairs to Brandon's bedroom.
I just did a Scooby-Doo split on us, didn't I?
Wait, guys. Okay. Before we actually go in there, I've got an idea to see if we can actually catch the ghost before we can actually go in there, so that maybe the ghost doesn't know that we're in there, so that the ghost will see them.
What do you got, Shelley?
All right, so I have this hand mirror, right? And if I stick it under the door, maybe we'll catch a reflection of the demon or of something else?
Just be careful where you point to the mirror.
I thought you guys were downstairs.
I don't think anyone has said the word demon yet. Is that a coincidence?
I think they came out to get some of their equipment.
There's an editor's note and text appears on the bottom of the screen that describes in detail the first couple paragraphs of the Wikipedia on Japanese demons.
So Shelley is going to pull out from her ridiculously oversized duffel bag a very thin, foldable, compact hand mirror, and she will get down on her hands and knees and slowly, as if not to provoke something on the other side, slide it under the doorway.
Don't worry. Between my horizon vertices and the cameras we set up in there, we don't need to disturb the room at all.
So it sounds like, Shelley, you'll be using tech.
Sure.
It sounds like Cliff with your horizon vertices and the cameras you've already set up.
Right.
You'll be using analysis.
Right. I'm hoping for an...
Cimanthe, upstairs. How are you investigating Brandon's bedroom?
Well, see, here, I'm not just a gangbusters researcher. I got a little bit of that psychic sensitivity nonsense. So I'm thinking that I'm just gonna, like, feel the energy of the area while they're sliding things about here and there and who's-y what's-us to there-y what's.
Perfect. Now, Szandor and Christian, you're not about to get one-upped and lose out on screen time. Either one of you can either do some research into Brandon's bedroom or some analysis after the fact, because everybody gets to roll for every scene.
I think I will once again analyze what's going on in the bedroom.
Perfect.
Now, what if we roll enough to run if we're not in the scene?
You're gonna freak out.
Okay.
Because demon was mentioned.
Because we don't
I
have to
believe
have,
it is dangerous for Szandor to do this alone,
We
so
don't
I will
need to have
engage in
sense-
an analysis along with him, looking over his shoulder and looming.
The real answer is that the episode will be cut to look like you freak out in the editing booth, which will lose you.
Fair enough.
So everybody roll your belief. Cliff, you are at 4 belief right now,
Yep.
plus the ability you have chosen to use. Is anyone spending ego for this?
No.
No.
I need
No.
a different.
Nay.
A reminder that if you do run, you can spend ego.
Motherfuck.
The hotspot rating of Brandon's bedroom right now is a 3 because the lights are off, and that's spooky.
I spend an ego not to run.
Really?
Also, I don't have enough successes.
I will.
Cliff!
It's only one triplicate that we need, right?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to spend that ego not to run 2.
Okay, hold on.
Shelley, no!
Does that mean I gotta roll 2 dice to not run like these chuckleheads?
No, we didn't actually run.
If you do not run in this manner, if you spend an ego to not run away, nobody else suffers any penalty. You don't suffer penalties, so your belief is not going to go up. Mm-hmm. You'll be okay. And no one else has to roll extra dice because they are too tough and too invested. So, Shelley, you are spending an ego not to run?
I am.
Cliff, you're spending an ego not to run.
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, I got 3 successes.
Cimanthe, Szandor,
Szandor also got 3 successes.
and Christian.
2 successes.
Okay, so Shelley,
Yes.
Cliff. What happens to freak you out enough to make you want to run away and then steal yourselves for the camera?
So Shelley is peering down. She still has the duffel bag strapped to her back as she's trying to look into the other side of this hand mirror. So it's a really complicated venture for her. But as she finally manages to get the right angle, oh my god, it's one of those shadow things, it's one of those shadow guys, oh my god, hi, how are you, and she scoots herself all the way back until she bonks her head against the at the other end of the hallway, cries out in pain, and shrinks up against the wall.
So I'm watching her through the other side, and I detect a shadow thing looking like it's reaching down towards the mirror, and it freaks me out enough to move away from the monitors and take a look down the hallway just in case.
Definitely. So, Szandor, Cimanthe, you both succeed. What I didn't mention before, because I forgot, is that, Cimanthe, earlier in your confessional, you were talking about the history of this place.
Oh, yeah. Lots of rich history.
Because this place has a history, as has been established by Cimanthe, the hotspot rating reduces by 1 across the whole house, which means Brandon's bedroom is actually a 2. So, Cimanthe and Szandor, you both got 3s. The way to break a tie is which one of you has the bigger ego. You may spend your ego against each other. Whoever spends the most seizes the confessional and wins this part of the investigation. You don't have to, because then you don't have it for the future. But that's how you break a tie.
Well, I have an ego of 2.
So do I, hun.
So it's a bidding war.
I'm gonna bid my whole ego. I want that spotlight.
Oh, I had the spotlight. I'll let the little freak have it.
Does that mean I still have to spend my whole ego?
No, you can spend 1 unless Erika wants to check you with one of hers.
Ooh, it's a bidding war.
No, I'm good.
All right.
I want to be able to run, or to not run.
So Szandor kind of shuffles over in front of Cimanthe. So, for the record, are you taking, because you didn't spend ego, are you taking ego on this? Or are you gaining an evidence? With a reminder that collectively you are trying to hit a certain hidden evidence number. Actually, you spent ego to
win, right?
win, so you must take evidence. And as a matter of fact, you gain 3 evidence because you won. Cimanthe, are you taking ego or evidence?
Oh, I'm going to take evidence, hun.
Christian, are you taking ego or evidence?
Evidence.
So, let's go around the table. You 2 freaked out.
I begin my investigation, my analysis, if you will, by informing my dear friend Szandor that I was once cursed by witches who practiced chaos magic, and it is because of them that I have a soul. I keep it in the amulet that I wear over my chest, much like my dear friend David Boreanaz. And then I review some of the evidence he's seen, and I recognize that this shadow creature is something that I may have tangled with before. I will need time to meditate on this. Szandor, what did you find?
Cimanthe.
Oh, I think you meant to say Samantha, hun.
No, he says
No.
Szandor, and he says
I did not.
Szandor, and then it badly cut edits to Cimanthe.
Yeah.
Who is, so he is looking around, and we're seeing Christian analyze these videos, definitely over Cliff's shoulder.
And then literally says,
As
Szandor, what do you
Cliff
think?
starts to get kind of freaked out, and then Cimanthe.
Oh, snapdragons, we got a doozy here. So, once I was out on a case, and I was looking for cryptids. I think in this case it was the skunk ape, but I happened to be in this old historical house where this old woman, known to be a temperance woman, flung a bottle of wine out of my hands. Now, that don't have a whole lot to do with what we're doing here, but that being said, I did see the mirror fog up, but I have terrifying energy, so I was able to scare it back.
We cut to Szandor, out by Cliff's van. The email address and phone number clearly visible, even though this is a different angle they're filming it at.
Black Ladder Traditions. Serving all of Central Connecticut.
Szandor strokes his chin thoughtfully. Something that's troubled me about this is to see such beings as shadow creatures. You would have to be a Thetan-level member of the Set Society.
What?
And as much as I appreciate both Shelley and Cliff for their understanding, and I do believe that they have the capacity to one day reach such levels of supernatural mastery, they are not there yet, which only leaves us with one possibility. You see, myself, I am a Thetan-level member of the Set Society. When I was just but a youth, I often would go on internet forums and speak about my thoughts of supernatural research. And the Set Society came and reached out to me. They sent members to my house demanding I explain where I had found these ancient secrets that they thought only their Thetan-level members knew. When they found out that I knew this information without having learned it from them, well, I was naturally made one of the High Magisters. So you can understand that really what we must be looking at here is either nothing at all, which is preposterous, or a being so powerful, summoned through the chaos magic of the angles of this building, that even people who are not Theta-level members of the Set Society can see these shadow beings. I think the conclusion is obvious, then. It must be a powerful spirit.
I love how this is evolving into Wilt Chamberlain-based Scientology.
The website for a group that helps deprogram people from cults comes up on the bottom of the screen. Midnight. The witching hour. As Shelley and Cliff steal their resolve upstairs, and Cimanthe keeps her cool.
I have very frightening energy.
Downstairs in the basement, Szandor and Christian make their way down the creepy, creaking stairs to the pitch black, except for the street light coming into the basement window, basement.
I hope you don't mind, Szandor, but I work best in the dark.
I think if we were to turn on lights, any spirits that were coalescing down here might get very agitated. It's probably in our best interest to make sure that things stay dark.
I concur.
Just like with upstairs in Brandon's bedroom, those of you who are not actively here can use analysis or research to try and figure out what happened with the things that they captured downstairs. First, Christian, what are you doing down here?
Initially, I'm going to focus using my soul amulet.
Is that tech?
Don't be ridiculous. Afterwards, I will enter the meditative trance, running my hand along the cool walls to get a sense of the cold water seeping through. It is the means by which they enter. Where we find water, we will find them.
Szandor. Wait a minute. Okay, so you're using sensitive, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Just to be clear.
Szandor, what are you doing here to investigate the basement?
Szandor's prepared several echo tinctures. They're small vials prepared of fluids of release.
There's
prepared-
definitely mosaic over the...
Prepared by the Set Society. You see, in cases of spirits that have unfinished business, things that want to peter in, peter out, like these spirits that we've seen, being in the presence of such finished liquids drives them insane. These tinctures won't be able to survive very long in the presence of a spirit. In fact, a powerful spirit like this may break it within a few minutes of it being placed in the concentrated circle that I'm going to prepare in the basement. Obviously, I'm going to use my artifact tech to explore this space.
Cliff, you're not there, but you can still contribute to this heavily edited television program.
We may be carrying tech on us for you.
Well, earlier when we were setting
there are
up,
cameras.
We may have things he placed on us. I don't know.
so I have put down our EVPs in the basement there.
Awesome.
You could. I don't actually know what EVPs are.
So, out of character, I'll cut this part.
Yeah.
EVP is electronic voice phenomenon. It's where like you put up a recorder and like ask questions to the air or whatever.
Oh.
You know when I
And-
was describing the spirit box earlier,
Yeah.
and it was like something that was using white noise and it would flip from like station to station. Sometimes they're on that sort of format where it's like a radio that like goes from station to station. You connect words. Sometimes it like picks up frequencies and tries to construct words.
So a lot of the times, at least for like the old ghost hunting shows, it's literally just a mini disc, like a digital recorder, and they ask a question, and then they'll like dial way down in the audio to pick up something that sounds like, and they're like, "Ooh, that's definitely words."
Here.
So I just set up some recorders down there to pick up any sounds and stuff like that while Szandor and Christian are interacting with the spirits down there.
Cimanthe.
Oh, hun, I'm gonna look into the floor plans of the house, and I'm gonna use my my days as a Squatch hunter to see where the ley lines oversect.
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
Fucking Rob's
Shelley.
getting stressed out.
Fine, sure.
Hey, you guys, you're going down there in the dark, right?
Of course.
All right, so I'm gonna see if anything comes up on the UV readings. I'll be analyzing.
UV, wait, hold on. What do you mean by UV?
So you do have the flashlights that I brought you from the earlier trip, but you can go ahead and ignore those if you want because there's some set up in the corners anyway. So we can just have the UV ratings, so that we can see if there's anything unusual coming up in those readings, and I'll let you know.
Ultraviolet rays are extremely dangerous to my kind.
Christian, perhaps you should put on your sunglasses.
I'm going to have to.
Will that be okay? Will that
They're Ray-Bans, yes. Snap them open. Do what you must.
And
When he says
you'll be-
Ray-Ban, the
the dark
words are
basement.
bleeped because we do not have sponsorship, and they have asked us not to say Ray-Ban.
I would have thought he was an Oakley's guy.
All right, just to be safe, I'll let you guys know over the comms that I'll turn on the UV. Okay, so that it won't in case you need more sunglasses.
The comms are a bunch of old like Walmart walkie-talkies. The Cliff backed up.
From a yard sale.
We had
They
him
work
around
fine.
for a while.
So, everyone roll me your current belief plus the skill that you're using.
I'm gonna amp it up with my last point of ego.
Play a
Szandor
dangerous
shooting
game.
for the stars. Trying to get his own spin-off series.
Oh, no.
Just as a reminder while everybody's rolling and giggling here, that, that if you spend ego to boost a roll, you cannot spend ego not to run.
I know. That was kind of my hope.
Unfortunately, they rolled what?
I rolled 3 3s and 3 5s.
Oh my
fail.
god. All right, so everybody roll. We'll go around.
Yeah, we'll go around.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I'm really close
So,
to running.
Christian.
guys, so please don't.
Are you running?
Yes.
Szandor, are you running?
Oh yes.
Is anyone else running?
Oh,
Yes.
pitter patter, I'm at it.
Wow.
Everyone else is rolling 3 more dice.
So all
No, I was running as well.
so 4 of you are running. Cliff, are you running?
Not yet.
Not yet. Cliff,
If you roll 4 dice,
finally
it possibly.
managed to keep this together.
Oh, yeah.
Cliff, our rock.
Cliff, the rock of the group. You finally managed to do this. To keep your shit together as you're analyzing everything after the fact. Cliff, roll me 4 more d6, please.
I wanted to be known that I have 0 ego, so I can't even prevent myself from
Cliff?
running.
Let's see how you do here, bud.
3 5s, 3 1s, and 3 2s. I was so close, and then you guys are like, "Here's all this extra dice." Okay, so we all abandoned the house, right?
So
That's
here's
basically what happens.
Here's what happens when all of you run. Szandor, Christian, you go down to the basement. Christian, you run your hands along the water dripping down the walls. Szandor, I'm sorry, man. You're so fucking weird. What were you doing?
I'm placing vial.
you're
I'm playing
placing
vials.
jizz crystals
Yeah,
all over the
jizz
place.
magic.
Whoa, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's putting his vials
Vials of
down.
release.
Humor. A humor.
Thank you. Christian understands.
Vial high.
There's only 4 humors, man, and that ain't one of them.
These are very delicately constructed vials.
It's a hell of a
Of
lot of jizz
release.
you're carrying around in your pockets,
The
man.
2 of you
From 3 Theta level members of the Set Society, with 5 of our lesser.
The editor cuts. The 2 of you are in the basement, and that overwhelming, creepy feeling, that feeling of being watched, starts to become overwhelming. And you're watching your release vial.
And I think off camera we hear one of them shatter.
You hear waiting, and the feeling gets too overwhelming, and you hear something shatter, and you run. Both of you freak the fuck out and run. The rest of you, analyzing the footage of what happened, unfortunately, nothing's on screen. Nothing's provable because the cameras get knocked
I'd
as
also-
the two boys run super hard. And the three of you in the booths afterwards, looking at the blueprint, everything, something is wrong. And you get so freaked the fuck out that all of you may describe yourselves fleeing in a panic out of the house to go meet by the van because all of you screamed. Everyone's belief goes up by 1.
I would say maybe them running and yelling just causes the rest of us to flee the house at the same time.
Oh, yeah. We cut to, you two, everyone describe yourselves freaking the fuck out.
Szandor, kick it off.
Szandor, who is in the midst of delicately placing the vials for his ritual, suddenly whips his head around at the sound of a shatter. Christian, did you see that? Did that push? Did you feel that push?
I felt it. What is that? What is that power?
I think it's a tulpa.
What? No.
This isn't a shadow beast, it's a tulpa. Move!
Szandor, this is not for mortal men.
Get quickly up the stairs. I'm going to salt the exit.
Don't salt it yet! No, please! By the blood of
me your
Lamar, I reach up!
Christian, give me
No
your
salt,
hands.
please, no salt! No salt!
The two men flee from what is almost definitely a ghost in the attic, abandoning all evidence.
Basement.
I said basement, shut up. And the three of you upstairs, who just barely managed to keep it together through strength of will because you saw, probably definitely a shadow man, hear the screaming from downstairs. That breaks you as well, and also in post. And the three of you run screaming from the house.
Well, then there's only one thing to say when you hear two members of your team run off screaming. You just gotta give out the old Squatch Hunter call for the hasty retreat. Dipsy Doodle, better skadoodle, and she takes off running.
I feel like Cliff, after just doing all that stuff, looks over to where Shelley is, like helps her manage the gigantic backpack as she's trying to like pick herself up with it.
Somehow, she still manages to trip.
Like a lot of tripping, yeah. Just
But Cliff manages to catch her even as she's just screaming and wiggling. And I don't know what I saw before the cameras turned off.
Just go, get out of here. Come on. I think they're after Christian.
Hard cut to all of you, definitely calm and, getting your shit together out by the van, huddled collectively. Even though it's a group shot, you can still see Black Cat electricians and paranormal investigators, the email address and the phone number in the back, as all of you recollect and see if you are brave enough to go back in to try and search out more evidence that this really is the supernatural, that this really is a ghost or a demon or a tulpa or something, and can prove without a shadow of a doubt probably that this is definitely something that was worthy of running out of the house for.
Cliff, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I am telling you that this is a tulpa spirit inhabiting this house. It is far worse than we ever could have thought.
It makes sense with all the shadow men.
I wish to apologize. I had not realized that this was a tulpa. But Cliff, there is something I must confess to you. My ex-wife, Veronica, she had a sister tulpa. I have a sister-in-law who is a tulpa. I am very sensitive to their presence, and I fear that I have roused its anger.
Christian, this was extremely irresponsible of you to go inside the basement with me, having this close connection to a tulpa with the chaos magics I was wielding.
I thought it would be different this time, and frankly, I had no idea you were so potent.
So Cliff actually pulls out like a leather-bound journal, and on the outside of it, he starts flipping through it. He's like, "Yeah, this tracks with what I have for tulpa."
Yes.
Yeah.
I nod
The
profusely.
shadow people, the running water.
Whoa. We gotta back it up here. Where am I from now?
Don't you know? Everybody help her.
Oh, don't you know?
Oh, don't you know?
Oh, don't you know?
Oh, don't you know?
If you don't,
Why did you
There's
Hispanic?
an incantation.
if you don't know, now you know.
Okay, so I'm just throwing it out. It's just conjecture. Is it possible you lured the tulpa here, and it wasn't natively here, and we're dealing with two spirits now?
I don't know.
Because this also sounds a lot like a Hyosube, which is like the Japanese water ghost.
There's no way to know for certain. Not yet, anyways. We may have to continue trying. I hear your winter. I hear your pain. I failed your summer ways. I feel no pain. I raise the flat of my hand up, and I will attempt to push the tulpa away from my companions with my psychic prowess.
There's an intense musical sting as this nonsense happens.
All right, guys.
Smashing pumpkins is very effective for this
How did you find that out?
experience. It is a harsh teacher, but it is thorough.
So should we keep that playing as we keep going in?
I think it's time for us to investigate the living room.
Are you sure, Cliff?
Much of the things that have been happening there. We'll be able to find the evidence we need
At
to
least
hopefully prove.
I made sure to salt off the basement. At least let me salt off the attic before we all go to the living room. Those nexuses of energy could be powering this thing beyond levels we could imagine.
Oh, and water does come in through the roof, yeah.
I apologize. I am normally stronger than this. Allow me the opportunity to focus myself with kenjutsu techniques. With but a kata or two, I should be ready for us to progress further.
You are a master of the. You are a master of the sword.
I am. I learned during my studies to Japan.
Well, I mean that's while I was out partying, right?
Yes, of course.
Right.
While you partied, I mastered the blade.
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Oh.
High fives all around.
Oh, fuck you all.
Do not malign his partying. Whether he knows it or not, that's the first step onto the left-hand path of chaos magic.
It's just a fucking hedonist cult.
Cliff has had enough.
Wait. Is that part of being a... And Shelley, spells out the letters for vampire, but a little bit off. She accidentally puts the M after the P.
It's best to use a Y.
Oh my god. You're psychic too?
Yes. I'm a man of many talents.
Wow.
The first tenet of the Set Society is do thou as wilt.
The words do as
Do thou
as
as wilt.
the editor's text do as do thou as wilt appear on the bottom of the screen.
Unfortunately, I had to blank out the fuck part. The editor's also getting tired of our shit.
Obviously, the spiritual mentor of the Set Society is Wilt Chamberlain.
That tracks, yeah.
His party-going ways are a inspiration to us all.
Yes. As above, so below.
And you could ask yourself, is it his incredible charisma that made him such a party animal? Yes, probably. Is it the fact that he was an incredible superstar on the basketball court and on the silver screen? Yes, probably also that. Is it actually because he was a powerful chaos magician and the father of the Set Society?
And a
We will
lot of
never
other
know.
things.
But as is the way with chaos magic, who is to say what is the true cause of things? Is it coincidence? It's an answer you have to make for yourself.
Coincidence.
Coincidence?
As above, so below. That's the call of the Squatch Hunters.
Wait.
I spent a time.
As
in
above,
Canada.
so below. It's like the polarity that you were talking about earlier, Szandor.
He lowers his head and gives you a knowing gaze and purses his lips.
Shelley, I think you're ready.
I think it's time to gather the gear.
I think I'm ready too.
Wilt Chamberlain would not let this house go unexplored. We must go back in.
A proud wail against our enemies.
I apologize to anyone holding drinks.
I just want to add, Will Chamberlain, as above, so below, fucking the phrase hermetic balmaturgy. And that's it. That's all I want to add.
And a dignified call to the beast.
Jesus Christ, maybe one of us won't run this time. Okay.
God, I hope so.
Everyone pick
Shall
the
we
highest
come with
skills.
us back into the dark?
Okay.
The editing around the outside of the house puts everything into an attempt once more at creepy perspective, especially after the horrified flight from the Wilson house. A lot of dropped frames and superimposed images of the house, of the van, of the equipment, as the group makes its way to the attic or the living room.
The living room.
To the living room. The hotbed, the hot spot of the Wilson house. The hotspot rating of the living room currently is a 1. Things happen there all the time. Apparitions in the corner. Voices, vibrations in the floor. It's almost impossible to be in here without feeling something happening. Probably. So, what are you guys doing to investigate the room?
I'm going to begin by focusing my power on protecting the group. So I have 3 stacks charged by darkness. And I will stand in the center. Is there something, narrator?
Nothing. Go on. Continue.
Thank you. I will stand in the center, hold my arms out in a crucifixion stance, and I will begin to slowly spin.
Are you T-posing?
It is safe to begin. I will protect you, Shelley.
I hope he means the rest of us, too.
Yes, you too, Cliff.
Ouch.
Christian, you said that maybe I'm ready, and I think that maybe I'm ready, so I'm gonna try, because you said that maybe I'm on the same level, and I understand that maybe I could try that, so I'm gonna do that. And she actually starts rotating too.
Yes, like that. Act quickly, though. We're running out of time.
She goes even faster, and the duffel bag like thwacks against her back every time she makes a full circle.
Szandor, unleash your power. Now is the time.
Szandor places himself in the middle of the room and opens up one of his tomes.
Why are you losing it so early?
I have this image of us all spinning. And it's just one of us yelling, Cliff, get it on tape! Are you getting this?
Oh, boy. Sorry, Szandor.
Szandor reaches into his pocket, pulls out a compass, and looks to see, make sure he's facing north, puts the compass away, and starts kind of just feeling out the room and looking at different aspects, and tries to find the signs to tell him exactly what the nature of this spirit is. If it is in fact a tulpa, it must have left signs to explain its presence here.
So which one is that?
I think it might be tech again.
If you're using like a bunch of random junk, yeah, that's tech.
He's aligning with this compass. He's using the different orientations and placements of the alchemical symbol for truth. He is looking at different points on the room as according to that symbol. Tell as below, so above as below.
I just needed the answer. I just wasn't sure.
It is
So below.
tech.
As above, so below.
Shorty got low, man.
Get low.
This Tulpa's got them apple bottom jeans.
And
Wasn't
boots
Christian this
with
time.
fur. Suddenly the whole creep crew is looking at her. Next thing you know,
Tulpa got low.
Shelley got low.
Cimanthe with a C. What are you doing?
So Cimanthe pulls out the blueprints for the house, and she starts matching them up with water stains on the ceiling, and laying them out in accordance with with her tracking ability and research into that, she lays them out in the proper order that a ghost would have tracked through.
Cliff, you've run from every investigation so far. This is your moment.
Why all the pressure? So I'm going to go up to like the middle of the landing. That's kind of I imagine overlooking the living room area here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And I'm fucking gonna just utilize a camera. Apparently, on my own.
Cliff, are you getting this?
And I will be looking for shadow figures and orbs.
Ooh, orbs.
And tulpas.
What do those look like on camera? No one knows.
They are an entirely a black spot.
But we're about to find out.
It's orbs, but not glowing.
They are class 5 free roaming specter.
Oh, that was the shit.
He's got an Excel spreadsheet.
I can't wait to break this camera as I run screaming from this particular.
All right, so Shelley's spinning in circles.
Shelley's spinning in circles.
I'm using
She's
sensitivity,
sensitive.
actually.
Yes.
Well, because spinning circles is not one of our things.
So, let's go around. Shelley, roll your sensitivity plus your current belief, which is a 4.
Should we all just roll?
Yeah, everybody can roll.
Yeah, I was like,
We are talking
How
about
much
it
ego
stuff.
can we spend on a single
You
roll?
can spend as much ego as you want on a single roll.
That's what I wanted to hear.
That being said,
I'm
you
running.
can't. Oh, buddy.
Oh no.
FYI.
Guys.
Hey, sometimes rolling your highest stat does not work
It's
out.
not. I've been using tech for the last 2 at least.
Oh, I'm gonna go big or go home.
Looks like you're going home. Okay. Shelley, are you running?
No, I have 3 successes.
All right. For now, Cliff, are you running?
Super hot.
Samantha, are you running?
Let's find out. Oh yeah, I'm super running.
Szandor, are you running?
Not currently. I have 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 4s, a 5, and a 6.
Christian, are you running?
No.
But Cliff and Samantha are. So.
Oh, Cliff.
Pour it out. So everyone who's not currently running, roll me an additional 2d6.
I'm not running.
Shelley is sticking it out. Szandor.
The signs are too dangerous. I cannot stay in this place.
Shelley.
Christian.
I will spend a point of ego
All right.
and not run.
Shelley, roll me one more d6 because Szandor breaks.
And I have no ego.
Are you running?
No.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that makes this an easy round. Shelley, you're the only one with any successes. The only 2 left in the room are Shelley and Christian, who is slowly T-posing in a circle and managed, through sheer force of ego, not to run away. Shelley, you may gain either 3 points of evidence or 2 points of evidence and a point of ego.
I choose to gain 2 points of evidence and 1 ego.
All right.
So it looks like my belief is a 6 now.
Yes, everybody who ran and did not spend ego not to run gains +1 belief. Cliff, this is definitely the most haunted place ever. Unfortunately, it's so scary, it's making it really hard to find hard evidence that this is haunted.
I think I definitely dropped my camera last time.
So, we're going to go around with the runners before we get to everybody else. Cliff.
So I see a giant black spot tulpa-looking thing over Christian, throw the camera in his general direction, and proceed to run out the back door.
Cimanthe.
Oh, dipsy doodle. No, there's no time for that. Holy shit! And she kind of throws her maps and bolts out the closest window.
Szandor, you manage to hold on for a second, but then you see Cliff running out the door and Cimanthe bolting for the window.
Hold fast, friends. It is coming for us, but... He stops and he notices on the points of the hexagonal star. In front of him, he sees a trophy for a tennis tournament. And we all know that in tennis, it's point, set, match. On the next point, he sees a picture of the family's young child in a production of Peter Pan on set as a shadow. He turns to the next point and sees a picture of the beautiful water on Long Island Sound at sunset. He turns and sees the DVD collection of 24, but there's only half of the DVD set there. Unfinished business with this half DVD set. He turns and sees a pile of cards laid out on one of the side tables as if they were playing set back. He turns again and sees that there is a set of stairs going up to the landing from which Cliff fled. Szandor, realizing that the Tulpa has it out for him in the set society, needs to flee as well. Friends, I must leave. Save yourselves!
Christian, as Szandor flees with the rest of the group, you notice Shelley is still here, and you have the overwhelming urge to flee too. What part of your ego manifests to keep you rooted in place despite your fear?
I drop to my knee, bearing the weight of the world. Shelley, you must hold on. The Tulpa is strong. It has been here for generations. I need you to focus your prana. Inhale darkness and exhale light, but not UV light. If you can do this, we can make it to dawn.
Which is apparently fine for him.
We have seen him in the daylight.
Shelley, you are the only one who did not freak the fuck out so hard that they ran away or had to macho their way through their fear.
Yahtzee.
For clarity's sake, how many successes did you get?
3. 3
successes is more than the hotspot rating of the living room of 1. This is a very haunted place. Shelley, as the others all fled, or tried real hard not to, you get the confessional. What did Shelley find that definitely proved probably the existence of ghosts probably?
So I've never done this before, but I think I'm a natural to it because I was breathing in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out, just like he was telling me to do, right? And as I was spinning and the duffel bag is hitting me in a rhythm, it was hitting me in a rhythm, and the rhythm aligned with what Szandor was saying, and what Szandor was saying connected all the dots. And I think that with what everything was going on with the thing that was Christian's stepsister, I think that this was a trap, you guys. I think this was a trap that was set specifically for all of us. They knew that Cliff would bring us all here together, and they knew that we were the ones who could unleash this ancient evil, and that if we came here, that we would either destroy it or that we would set it free. And as I kept spinning, and I kept spinning, I kept spinning, and I held on, Christian, I did it, even if you really are a vampire.
Okay, sure. Fuck, it's
like that Shelley opens a cold one in the middle of it.
I'm a fucking badass now.
Shelley 100% pulls like a beer out of nowhere.
Her duffel bag.
Cracks it
It's just a duffel bag
at
full
the
of
end
cold
of her
ones.
confessional. All right. So, guys, there's one place of activity left. Cliff, it's your van. And you got work in the morning. So, are you going to go back in and look in the attic? Or are you going to call it? Do you think you have enough now?
We're going to cram into the attic. And we're going no equipment. I think it's time that we try to dispel this tulpa.
The ghost pursuers, says the narrator, become the ghost. And then it just cuts out.
Ghost
Fighters. Hard cut to the group of you in the attic. It's like a crawl space. It's not a walk up.
Oh,
there's
no,
there's a pull down.
It's very tight.
It is very tight. You cannot stand up in here.
Szandor is now wearing coal makeup under his eyes and like kind of like dressed out, and a headdress to kind of like fashion him in the form of a pharaoh. And he has incense with him.
The producers see nothing wrong with this.
I think that at this point I have put on some face eye makeup, much like a sports player.
Much like a sports player.
Yep, and a bandana, a la the
Rambo.
Frog Brothers.
That bandana is branded with what?
Black Clad Electrician and Paranormal Investigators serving all of Central Connecticut. Mention the show to get 10% off.
Does anyone else prepare for battle?
Oh, absolutely. Shelley switches to a slightly smaller duffel bag.
It's a bandolier. Or a fanny pack.
Cimanthe, what do you do to confront this ghost?
Tulpa.
Tulpa.
Whatever
Maybe.
whatever the whoozy what's it is.
If you guys are going to get into a dispelling match with Christian's sister-in-law, what do you do to prepare?
Ex-sister-in-law, we should be clear.
Very clear. Thank you. Yes.
Well, I'm just going to prepare. I'm going to kind of focus my very powerful and frightening energy. And I'm going to let out a good squatch call. Summoning my ancestral family squatch call.
Cimanthe with a C squatches up. Christian.
I will initiate a transformation into my Victorian goth garb and collect a sword cane. Then, I will join the group, and using the amulet that contains my soul given to me by witches, I will pray to the blood god La Magra to deliver us from the tulpa.
Is that the one from Blade?
It is. Yes. Correct. There were more on the nose than New Line Cinema would like you to think.
Christian. Holding a sword. Definitely. Dressed in Victorian garb and quoting Blade.
There is a blood jewel on the hilt.
Szandor in just
Religious garb of
weird.
Though I was born Linus Foley, my name is Szandor, and my heritage comes from that of Hermes Trismegistus himself. So this is my traditional ethnic garb. Thank you.
This airs at 3 a.m. on the Sci-Fi Channel, and no one's gonna send letters.
Although they should.
Symmetra. Symmetra. Nope, I'm fucking fully gone now. It was just.
How do you battle the other Overwatch heroes?
I really wish I knew her lines better than the just forming little triangle. That's his shtick. I'm not getting in on that.
Cimanthe, you fully manifest the aura of Squatch Rage. Cliff, you got a neat branded bandana on.
I get some eye makeup.
and some
Battle make
eye black
Yeah,
underneath.
There we go.
So that your
fingers and gloves,
eye,
yeah.
the lights don't reflect up into your eyes here in this perfectly dark attic.
It's just because it looked cool.
As a truce, I would like to offer use of my eyeshadow.
If you can help me put it on.
Yes, I'm very good at it.
And as the boys do make up, Shelley, with your slightly smaller, oversized backpack, all cram into this tiny crawl space.
Before
in
we
the attic.
cram into the attic,
No, we're cutting into there.
as we are prepared to go up, Szandor is going to look at the rest of his team deadly seriously and be like, all right, I'm going to break the salt that I laid earlier.
Please, yes.
I don't want to hurt our good friend here.
Thank you.
The salt could do serious damage to Christian. And he wipes away the salt on the ground.
I sigh with relief.
All right, Cliff.
There are
Lead us
shots of the empty attic. There are shots of the moon. Full. Even though definitely in earlier shots it was like a crescent moon, but there are shots of the moon full outside of the tiny box window. Spooky, tense music plays as all of you cram into this tiny ass crawl space up here.
It's incredibly hot.
It is incredible. It's October. It's incredibly hot up there.
Oh, geez. I hope you had a setting spray for your makeup, guys.
There's a feeling of oppressiveness in the air. Probably not because you're all crammed up in here together. There's scratching
Christian's
in
cologne
the
is
walls.
It's
The
Axe
light
body spray.
from
It's not cologne.
your equipment and the full crescent
Can and
moon
a half.
That's commitment.
sending shadows into the corners that are honestly only a couple of feet away. It's so cramped up here. A shot of the spooky, only half-opened Halloween decoration box.
It's here.
What do you all do to investigate this spooky hotspot?
I think I'm going to try to initiate like some sort of like circle thing with these guys and use the sensitive approach.
So let me ask a question.
No.
Are you all rolling sensitive?
I am trying to
no.
initiate that way.
Oh my.
He's gonna use tech.
I'm going to use tech. Also, I am a practiced urban rock climber. So I will be getting as high onto the boxes as possible.
He
And
gets a good
looming while I
2 feet
focus.
up the ground.
Thank you. Yes.
His head kind of tilted
Yes,
so that like those little
I
like
arch my head. Yes.
tack nails that
Absolutely.
hold the tar paper on a roof down don't poke him in the back of the head. Szandor.
Channeling one of his past lives as Karl Kellner, founder of the Ordo Templar Orientis.
Ooh, don't like
He-
that.
He lets forth a humming at the proper frequency to dispel any negative energy coming towards our group, and will use sensitive to ward off this power and entity.
Shelley.
All right, we can do this together. Cliff, take my hands.
Will do.
Business Cliff. And Cimanthe, what do you do?
Oh, Cimanthe channels her most powerful, most frightening energy and just starts howling around the attic, trying to cast out the tulpa or the ghost or whatever.
All right. Let's see if you can find evidence that this thing existed for the television news crew that somehow also has cameras up here, making it even more cramped and more hot.
Should we ignore those?
Everybody roll.
This is sensitive for myself and Tim, right?
Yes.
It's also sensitive for me.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also doing
I
sensitive.
believe everyone is doing sensitive except
Are sensitive.
No, I'm
for
in fight
Christian.
And with triple box cars, I'm out.
I will spend my one ego not to leave.
Okay. Is anyone else currently running?
Look, I'm just running hot tonight, guys.
Oh no! The power is
too great. Szandor must leave.
Samantha, are you running?
Not currently.
All right. So, as
I
you
have a
all
lot of twos.
begin to manifest the energy to try and cast out this tulpa demon ghost, probably
What about Christian?
Not yet.
Szandor. The energy's too much. Cliff. What freaks you out enough?
Me. I think that the heat and the general lack of oxygen is making me like pass out.
A skeptic might say
Right.
that the heat and the general lack of oxygen may have made
Well,
you pass
I think
out.
I might be hallucinating at this point.
I think that it's possible that this dark energy is causing you to pass out.
Right, exactly.
It
that.
opened a door into another dimension so that you could see.
Cliff, Szandor, it is hot. An overwhelming, some might say, supernatural heat. It's hard to breathe in here, like something is trying to steal your breath away. And then you hear it, a skittering above you like little claws. And you can't hold on anymore, and you flee from the attic, bolting down. And as the two men break, the rest of you need to roll me 2 more d6.
I do not roll because I...
You do not. You you are failing, but you managed to hold on.
Hell yeah.
Run away.
I will be leaving this shortly.
As the others leave, as the others break, the overwhelming, oppressive atmosphere of the attic that doesn't really seem to affect the camera crew as much, but the overwhelming, oppressive atmosphere, the heat, and then you too hear it. The skittering on the roof. Above you, claws, like something is trying to tear its way in towards you. You bolt. Christian.
Shelley, it is opening the roof. Dawn is coming. I have to go. The boy, Szandor, he is a natural fatal of a mind. I know the chaos magic anywhere. I think I am his father. I must protect him, and I turn and run. Szandor! Szandor, don't be afraid. You mustn't be afraid.
Cimanthe with a C.
You okay?
The moment is that beautiful.
It's very touching.
For the record, I just keep running.
Knocking Szandor over along the way. With your kung fu.
His kenjutsu, thank you.
Kenjutsu, my bad.
Samantha.
Blade.
Yes.
Everyone has run, and you feel it too.
Oh, that's baby Squatch is coming in.
I like that Erika's like, you know what? We can't do cryptic hunters? Fuck you. We're doing cryptic hunters.
I know this is a ghost hunter show. I'm doing boss accent. Yeah, okay.
That's
I
our
know this is a
narrator.
ghost hunter show, but fuck you. That's baby Squatches.
Oh, I should have stuck with what I knowed all along. My Squatch call wasn't too weak. I brought them here. I brought this darkness on us. We're walking a path of night here, folks.
Fuck you.
Title drop.
That's it. End of it, guys. That's it. We're
Oh,
out.
fuck. Shelley. You're scared too. You also feel that oppressive atmosphere. Like you can't breathe. The terror is overwhelming, but there is a TV crew here. And you've got just enough ego not to run.
I can do it. 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 I can do it.
Yes!
Everyone else, their belief goes up by 1.
Is there no cap on this?
Belief was what we're trying to get, right?
No. I mean, sure.
Shelley, you're alone in the attic just long enough so that in post they can edit it to make it seem like you stayed there the whole time. And then as soon as the cameras move, you also leave.
Just a high-pitched noise emitting from Shelley's being as she just slides with the duffel bag dragging along the unfinished crawl space and gets all the way the hell out of there.
Everyone meets back up outside by the van. Dawn is coming soon. This investigation is concluded because they're not going to pay for any more footage.
You mean the van that says Black Cat Electrician?
In fact,
Investigators.
Serving Connecticut?
Serving all of Central Connecticut, correct.
They cram a lot onto the side of that van with the email address and the
Oh, do
Instagram,
you give a discount?
Well, we put the
phone
little
number.
pictures on there, yeah.
Yeah, they've
Oh,
got a
but-
Twitter, they've got a Facebook, they've got an Instagram, they've got a TikTok.
Cliff, what kind of a discount do you offer, man?
The TikTok is very important.
The
Very.
10% discount for anybody who mentions the show, and I do have TikTok dances.
It cuts away from Cliff's TikTok dance because they do not have the copyright.
Fuck.
All of you meet back by the van. The investigation concluded for the evening. There's a lot of footage to go over before you meet back up at C.R.E.E.P HQ to go over the final results.
It's not good, guys.
Oh, I made hot dish this time.
I arrive with a hood to conceal my visage. Can't take any risks.
I'm just kind of putting stuff back in the equipment places and, taking some phone calls while we're waiting for everybody to arrive.
Shelley's checking over the equipment, kind of like resetting it and glancing to everyone as they come in to make sure they're okay.
Szandor is burning clumps of sage in the HQ to make sure that any spirits have not followed us back this way.
I take a step back away from the stage, wiping some bleeding mascara from my eyes. Potent sage. Well done.
Do you guys? Do you think we did it? Do you think they're gone?
I think it's just beginning, if I'm being real honest with you, Snow Cone.
I do not know whether the Wilsons were willing participants in the darkness that's happening in that house, or whether they're pawns. But I don't believe that my time in the Society of Set has seen a more haunted location in this part of central Connecticut.
Oh no, this was real haunted, yeah.
I mean, it's Easter.
That's fair.
I don't believe this was an accident. I can feel it even now. These Wilsons cackling wherever they are. I would like to know who
Putnam.
these people are.
We cut immediately to an interview with the Wilsons being brought in for the final results of the investigation. Now, unfortunately, team, because you all got so freaked out and ran away so many times, particularly you, Cliff,
I don't know what you're talking about.
He was our
but
rock.
frankly, everyone.
I collected 3 bits of evidence.
Yes,
Me
did
too.
I.
We'll get to that. Unfortunately, even with the adjustments I made, given our recorded format, we did not make the evidence level required to prove, without a definitive television doubt, that this was an official haunting.
But we
That-
know in our hearts what happened.
Exactly.
She's telling the truth.
This was a conspiracy.
The fact that we were not able to prove things to the Wilsons proves nothing. The Wilsons were likely in on this dark dealings. And if anyone, they would naturally try to dispel any of the things that were seen by ourselves or the audience.
Indeed, we're not the fakers. They are the fakers.
Cut immediately to the Wilsons sitting down at a table in your impromptu HQ, and you guys explaining the evidence that you did get and why there wasn't sufficient evidence to prove anything definitively to this worried couple.
So, I went through back during the day, and it seems like a lot of your electrical problems are downstairs in the breaker box. So,
Well,
so I fixed that for you. So that's gonna probably go away now. But you can see from the other evidence we gather here that there may be something going on, but like a lot of the electrical problems are just like normal wear and tear stuff.
Yeah, stuff that the Black Cat electricians handle all the time.
Right.
But I'm sure you were aware of that, weren't you? He says with a derisive look in his eyes.
There's very clearly an edited cut to make it look like the Wilsons are extremely suspicious and not responding.
You telling me you know nothing of the arcane trap you set up in your living room?
Another very clear cut where the lighting in the background is different.
It's some
ominous music. Szandor stops looking at them and looks directly into the camera. You're telling me you don't know about the trap you set?
An edited cut of Rich Wilson going, wow, we didn't know about that.
I just imagine like me and Shelley sitting at a table like talking to them and like those two like hovering around in the background just like pacing and making accusatory stares.
Cimanthe with a C is perched by the window.
Yes, I'm there wearing protection from sunlight and all of my rings.
Do you have sunblock on?
Yes, of course I
okay.
do. The sun is out.
It smelled very much like the beach in here.
You've worked with him before. You know he wears
If you
sunblock.
are not party to whatever is going on in your house, then I suggest that you follow the steps for purification of your house, starting with the basement. I would highly suggest perhaps some bleach.
Yeah, we sent some instructions over there. We'll come by to clean up the tape.
Just a little Goo Gone will take care of that tape right
Yes, the tincture is still there. Very good. Also, beware of the tulpa.
So, Mr. Tolman,
Tolman.
Tolman?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. So did you find any proof of a... I'm sorry, what's a tulpa?
It's
I
a
thought
type
it was
of,
a ghost.
It is a Tibetan thought form spirit that takes on the energy that you put into it. They are very dangerous. Sometimes it is said that they can inhabit the spirits of shadow beings or ghosts, as they are already preformed suits of thought that they can inhabit.
Typically a class 5 freeform.
And you got some water ghosts there, man.
There's a raw edit cut of Mr. Wilson nodding his head.
You're gonna want to get your roof fixed too, because that's how the water demons are getting in.
So, with no real evidence
not
presented to the Wilsons, but some good home repair advice.
I mean,
Does Samantha's family own a roof repair business?
Oh yeah, out of Saskatchewan. Pratt Roofing and Siding. Tell your friends. See, it don't have to be long, Cliff.
The
sorry, which
narrator
one was
comes
his name?
back. Oh my god.
Narrator's not allowed back yet.
The narrator is cut out of his own show.
get him out of here. He's ruining us.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. So we'll cut to the last step. So, Shelley,
Yes.
Szandor, and Cimanthe, you all got 3 pieces of evidence.
Seems like a lot.
Christian, you got 2. Cliff, you ran away from every encounter.
It's not my fault.
Honestly, you're right, it was not. At least one of those was everybody else running and you panicking with them.
That was impossible. I don't even know how you mathematically could not.
Turns out eventually you can't. So here's how we decide who is named lead investigator
It's golf, right?
in terms of a tie. Each of you is going to roll a single d6 and tell me the result.
A 2.
A 1.
A 1.
Szandor,
By the barest of margins.
shockingly, somehow, you become the focal point of the end of the episode that ties everything together. You are the lead investigator.
Coincidence?
As the credits begin to roll, please give us the monologue that sums up this episode of Ghost Pursuers as the various credits and production companies roll past the screen.
I believe that our audience out there should contemplate for themselves while they watch this investigation of the case how common it is to see in parts of Connecticut that this kind of activity could be present in any house, on any street, any town. A scenario in which the ghost pursuers go in, led by Cliff, a veteran of so many investigations, who saw such overwhelming evidence that he could barely put together the countenance to see everything that happened here. This is obviously a case that is just racked with every clue you could imagine. From the moment I saw the letters in the names of the people who owned the house, I saw the signs, the windows, the doors. This was a house built for darkness. Is it any coincidence that the ghost pursuers were called here? I don't think so. We were certainly not called to your house yet. But we were called to a house of the Wilsons. You see, we do not show up at houses where there are not phenomena. We show up at places where you find darkness. That is the only reason that individuals such as myself, members of the Set Society, would deign step, where places like Christian would be drawn. A veteran Squatch hunter, like Cimanthe, or even Shelley, the person who is perhaps seemingly not prepared for this sort of thing, but has been drawn in. Some out there skeptical may say this is simply just coincidence, but I remind you to remember that the first tenet of chaos magic is that there is no coincidence. Things like this do not simply just happen. When you see a house like the Wilsons, beware. Go inside if you must. Do thou as wilt. But understand that whatever you bring upon your head was not coincidence, but the justification of your actions.
Cliff, as the financial backer of C.R.E.E.P and the guy who consistently ran and made it the creepiest episode that you've had so far,
Yeah.
you get the last word.
So, remember, Black Cat electricians.
And the episode ends and fades out. We go to one last infomercial.
What is it at this time of night? It is some sort of miracle pills that let you sleep. That are advertised like crazy, and they keep dropping the price as the the commercial goes along. So at the end, it is like 3 easy installments of $69.95.
Nice.
Do you suffer from insomnia? Do you have problems sleeping at night?
Person turning in their bed, trying to sleep on both sides.
So uncomfortable. Is this you?
Throwing their head under their pillow.
They give up and they throw their whole blanket across the room.
Huff. Never have another sleepless night with Somnambulum.
That's a great song.
Somnambulum is a all-natural
Natural,
supplement that will guarantee you a perfect night's sleep.
A woman nestling comfortably into her pillow, her hands tucked under her cheek.
Soothing music playing in the background.
Somnambulum. 20 pills for only 3 easy installments of $49.99.
Plus shipping.
Somnambulum not approved in California. And that's it, guys. Thank you for...
Next up on Late Night TV, we have accidents across the country. The most brutal car accidents you've ever seen.
Matlocks across the country.
This guy thought he could cross lanes of traffic. Uh-oh.
So I want to thank everybody for trying something completely new to our format.
God, my head hurts.
Tonight. if you are the 66% of our listenership that listens to the post credits, this is probably a little familiar and sounded good. If you're the third of our listeners who apparently tune out and don't listen to the after credits, this is probably a wild tonal shift. But yeah, I don't know about everybody else, but it's been really fun doing, just some random shit, and it's. I hope we get to do this kind of stuff in the future. And yeah, for everybody, for our regular listeners, for everyone, thanks for tuning in. Our regular episode of Path of Night is going to come out at its normal time slot in 2 weeks, like a week and a half at this point. And thanks for listening, everybody, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Coincidence?
Coincidence.
When they're not pursuing ghosts, Path of Night is usually an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the classic world of darkness. Christian Edge was played by Lex Lopez. Shelley Hemsworth was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Cliff Andrew Tolman was played by Tim Davis. Samantha Pratt was played by Erika Webb. Linus Szandor Foley was played by Garrett Gabbey. Your Skeptic was Rob Muirhead. Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was from Red Skies, Zakar Valhalla, and Monday Note on Pixabay. Find them online at pixabay.com. The game Dude Run is by Robert Nolan and Creepy Doll Studios and is available on DriveThru RPG. Make sure to subscribe to Path of Night on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can help support the show at coffee.com/pathofnight. Follow us on Twitter at @PathOfNightPod, on Facebook at facebook.com/PathOfNightPodcast, or email us at patofnightpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time, paranormal investigators.
I've got our next commercial. Are you troubled by strange noises in the night? Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic?
Yes.
Have you or your family actually seen a spook, specter, or ghost? If the answer is yes, then don't wait another minute. Just pick up the phone and call Ghost, whatever we are. Ghost Pursuers.
Called Ghost Pursuers.
Or Black Cat Electricians and Paranormal Investigators serving all of Central Connecticut.
It was so unreasonably hard
Connecticut.
to find ghost pursuers. I went through like 12 different names, and they were all taken already.
Why'd you go with, like, Gassed?
I wanted ghosts.
Okay.
I got stubborn.